What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And yeah, this video is about a fascinating and interesting dynamic that I noticed between two shows, One Piece and Ahsoka. Obviously, they both have some commonalities. They're both big shows on big streaming platforms. They both have their roots in animation. Of course, Ahsoka with Rebels, and then, of course, first the Clone Wars. One Piece had its own anime. Obviously, it was an adaptation from a manga. So there are some commonalities, but there's some differences as well, and just the stories that are being told. One Piece is an adaptation of the anime in the manga, so it's telling a story that has already essentially been told. It's just bringing it to live action. Ahsoka is also a live action rendering of an animated show, but it's a continuation, all right? They didn't start from Rebels Season 1 and move forward. This is essentially Rebels Season 5. But the biggest difference, I think the main difference between Ahsoka and One Piece makes people want to go and read the manga or watch the anime. I cannot tell you how many people I have recommended this show to, or reviews that I've watched from YouTubers who are not even anime watchers, and they all say the same thing. Oh man, I want to go watch the anime now. I can't get enough of this world. Right? That's kind of the effect that anime has had throughout the years on people that watch anime. Anime sells the manga. Manga sells the anime. All right. So you read the manga, you want to, watch the anime. Or if you're watching an anime, you're like, hey, man, I want to read the manga. What's this all about? And now the One Piece live action is basically having that same effect. It's bringing the boys to the yard. It's adding fans to the One Piece fandom. That's the effect Ahsoka should be having on the audience. But Ahsoka is not making people want to go back and watch Rebels. It should be. It should make people want to go, hey, man, this is like Rebels Season 5. I'm interested in what happened with Rebels Seasons 1 through 4, or maybe even the Clone Wars. And I'm not talking about the fans, all right? I'm not talking about fans who have already seen it and they're going to go back and rewatch it, for some nostalgia or whatever. I'm talking about people who have never watched Rebels once in their life. It should make people want to go back and watch those older series. Instead, Ahsoka is making people want to turn the TV off. It's like, I'm done with this character. I'm not interested. The show is mostly only appealing to fans of Rebels or Star Wars diehards. People that watch everything anyway. And then everyone else is like, nah, I don't get this show. I don't understand it. I'm out. They're confused. They don't know why they should care about anything on the screen. And that's the number one reason that this show is failing. And it's the characters. That's really what it is. It's the characters and the way that they were written. I had said that on the Echo-based live stream, that character is king in this regards. One Piece is filled with nothing but great characters. They're goofy, they're weird, they're silly, they're offbeat, but they're all great. Every character is written impeccably with attention to detail, even some of the smaller characters that don't even get a lot of screen time. We understand everyone's motivations of the main characters, that is. We understand who they are, what they're all about, all right? And we almost like every last one of them instantly. We have some reservations about Nami at first, maybe, but ultimately we come to love all of these characters. We like their backstories. We're interested to learn more because they take time to give us those stories, that really flesh these characters out and show their struggles, their inner turmoils, what they're dealing with. You know what endears you to a character? You know what makes you connect to any character? It's their struggle. It's their internal conflict. What's going on the inside? That humanity. That's what connects all of us. The humanity of seeing a character going through something on the screen, even if we're not consciously aware of it, we know, okay, that's the thing that's connecting when you actually break it down. Look at all the One Piece characters. You can see what they've endured. They've all gone through some sort of hardship, some sort of calamity, had to watch some dude eat his leg off and all that kind of crap, right? None of that made any of these guys abandon their goals. And that's the thing. They're still going after it. One by one, we see all of these characters confronting some element of their path or something within their goal, like directly in Zoro's case, literally confronting his goal face to face. And then they have to work to overcome it, achieve it, or, we know, okay, they're going to build themselves up and try again. That's the thing with the One Piece. That's what works about it. And even the characters we don't like, we like them. We like the villainy of these villains, right? We like the villainy of Kuro and Buggy, of Garp, of Mihawk, right? I can't tell you how many people I've seen. Man, Mihawk's the best character in the whole show. The guy is literally on screen for less than 15 minutes of live actual action in this show. I counted it up myself. And he's everybody's favorite character. Why? Because of good writing. Now flip it over to Ahsoka. There's literally only one character in Ahsoka that everybody universally agrees is well written, and that's Baylan Skoll. But honestly, I think Baylan Skoll is really due to Ray Stevenson's acting kind of elevating the writing more than anything. So let's talk about Ahsoka, the lead character of this story, right? The lead character spends 4 episodes with an external desire but no internal need. Now, what do I mean by that? You have what's outside. What are you chasing? What are you going after? All right. In this case, she's trying to stop Thrawn from returning. All right. That's her external desire. Everybody can see it. She states it constantly. All right. We all know what Ahsoka is trying to accomplish. But what's preventing her from doing that is usually some sort of internal turmoil, something that's going on inside that's preventing her from completing her mission. Right. And that's the whole thing. That's the thing that makes you care about a character. We don't know who Ahsoka is. We don't know why we should care about her. And until we understand what is her need, what is it that she's struggling with that she needs to overcome? And that need with Ahsoka, once we discover what it is, it's not even linked to the desire of the story. It's not linked to the story at all. Her internal conflict, as we discovered in episode 5, is the legacy of Anakin Skywalker, and how that legacy was one of death and destruction, and how she's adopted his legacy, at least in her head, as his Padawan. But she doesn't want to continue that legacy. See, but none of that has anything to do with her mission to stop Thrawn. It's not like Ahsoka is trying like hell to stop Thrawn, but her Darth Vader legacy is getting in the way. Her internal or inner turmoil just affects her ability to connect to Sabine, to be a good master to Sabine, to teach Sabine the ways of the Force, etc. and so on. All right? And just never mind the fact that Sabine shouldn't be a Jedi at all, because that's just a stupid storyline. But let's just go with what Dave Filoni has given us, all right? That is Ahsoka's struggle. Now, how does this conflict and this turmoil connect to her main goal, her desire, her mission to stop Thrawn? How does her struggles connect to the actual story? The answer, it doesn't. That's why this character does not work in this storyline, and you actually don't get anything from this character at all unless you knew this character's history from Rebels and from the Clone Wars. That's it. That's the problem. And the funny thing is, the story that Filoni is telling us actually connects to Sabine's character arc. Sabine actually has a better desire through line, because her internal struggle is, well, I got to either bring back Ezra or, you know, thwart the return of Thrawn, right? Her struggle of finding Ezra or abandoning him to keep Thrawn from returning, that's a valid need-desire conflict, okay? What I need versus what I desire, they're in conflict. What do I do? Because she knows with finding Ezra, she potentially unleashes Thrawn. But this show isn't called Sabine, is it? It's called Ahsoka. Ahsoka's main conflict, the thing that connects us to her character, is a side note in this story. At least so far it is. Because there's nothing about her inner turmoil with her legacy as Darth Vader's Padawan that's keeping her from stopping Morgan Elsbeth and Baylan and all of these guys from finding Thrawn. Nothing at all. As a matter of fact, she nearly stops Thrawn's return in episode 5 if she just said, oh, instead of grabbing the orb, the map orb, she just slices it in half with her lightsaber, like she was telling Sabine to do. Hey, mission done. Everybody, go home. We're all done. Thanks for playing. All right. So that's how you know that the character work being done here in Ahsoka is subpar. Completely pales in comparison to what's happening with One Piece. And that's why nobody's interested in going back and watching Rebels or watching the Clone Wars, which is what Ahsoka should have absolutely done. It should have sold the cartoons and say, hey, just like One Piece is selling the anime and the manga, Ahsoka should have been selling Rebels and the Clone Wars, at least in terms of, hey, I want to get more of this story. I want to see the history of these characters and go back and visit this. That's what I'm interested in, but nearly no one is talking like that. So yeah, hats off to One Piece. And hats off to Ichiro Oda. Hats off to Netflix, okay? For understanding at least, hey, you know what? This is how you franchise. You know, this is how you build out your franchise and get more fans. This is how you keep the legacies of these great characters going. Disney, Lucasfilm, they don't get it. They don't understand how to keep Star Wars going. how to make people fall in love with these characters and dive in and say, man, I want to read more material. I want to go and get the Ahsoka novels. You know, the Star Wars fans, the hardcore Star Wars fans, you know, those guys are going to be there. But at the same time, you're going to lose the potential to add even more fans. See, they're not doing that with One Piece. One Piece is stacking on more and more fans as we speak. I guarantee you, at the next Comic-Con, or at a lot more of these Comic-Cons and conventions, you're going to see a ton of Luffy cosplays, you know, Sanji cosplay, Nami, you know, Usopp and Zoro. You're going to see some Mihawk cosplay. I know you're going to see some Mihawk cosplay because this guy is like the most, you know, exciting character. People can't stop talking about him. All right. Like I said, he's barely into 15 minutes of actual screen time. You know, it's insane. But this is where we are with it. And Star Wars just can't do it. They've rested too long on their laurels. They no longer know how to build fan base. They're just going back to nostalgia and fan service. And that's where they're at right now. But anyway, folks, that's all I wanted to say. I just think it's a very interesting dynamic when you look at these two, how one show is building out its fan base and the other show is turning its fan base, its current fan base away, and it's not adding on any new fans. Nobody's interested in going back to watch Rebels and Clone Wars. And I think it's a shame because, honestly, both of those series are decent. You know, I think Clone Wars is far better, but I think Rebels is a decent series, and they're not engendering any kind of interest in it whatsoever through Ahsoka. But you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on this. And thanks for watching. See you next time.